Hello and welcome back to Forge, as we have had ourselves more action here at the Forge of Champions as Hybrid narrowly lost out there versus Bulldogs. That was very, very close.
Enough action for one whole day in one game, you have to say. It was such an intense back and forth, but it is Bulldog that come out on top, taking this series to Game 3. So now it's down to Hybrid to see if they can actually close one out and see if they can get an advantage early, not just let the game slip away from them and then capitalize on mistakes. They need to make the plays of their own.
I'm really excited to see picks and bans because I want to see what's changing, what's getting added, because we had questions about Dragdar's Vayne. But then he got the pentakill. Then he also started playing really well in the late game. It was just the laning phase where the questions were really starting to come up.
There was the overdive from Kunal, which gave the double buffs to Koki. Sorry, overdive from Zyko, which gave the double buffs to Koki, and he never recovered from that. He ended up 30, 40 CS down. All the kills ended up going over to Koki at that point, and it was just, there was very little way back for Dragdar until that pentakill. Even then, like, he was on the cleanup duty on that pentakill because the rest of his team was doing the damage and trying to facilitate him to be able to put down any damage he could. And the pentakill was the only way he could get back into the game to do any damage at all.
Well, we've headed into picks and bans. Once again, Bulldogs ban away the Riven. They ban away the Aurelia. We see a Rise ban come down from a Hybrid. They don't want to let that through. The Nautilus, again, is also going to be banned away. I like this adaptation from Hybrid. It's taking away some of these more comfortable picks. And curious to see what Bulldogs ban away as their final ban in this pick phase.
Yeah, we've seen the Vladimir both games, so I actually want to see that targeted away. Blyce has been very good on it, but instead, they target away that Zyko Kha'Zix that we saw in game number 1.
It worked really well with the poke they were playing as well, so it makes sense that they do ban that away.
One of the things that I really want to look at as well is like there's been 2 key picks for Hybrid throughout this entire series, Galio and Vladimir. And if you add Akali onto that now, if you don't take away Vladimir and Galio right now, those 3 are going to tear your backline to shreds.
We might just see ESB get his Jarvan again as well, because that was also banned away from him in game 1, picked it up in game 2, and was a nuisance, constantly soloing out just some people on the backline, keeping them pinned away from the fight. So looks like they're going for comfort here. ESB will get his hands onto his Jarvan.
Surely Gofio isn't going to let 3 games in a row, Vladimir and Galio through. Surely not.
I mean, they're going to take one of them, right? Like I felt like
the Galio gives you through again.
The Galio gives you that Damascene Death Pulse. You have insane engage, but you can kind of back up with the counter engage. So maybe they go for that as they're looking for a pick that has been banned away consistently, actually. So curious to see if they actually do go for it, but I like this. That's a bit different. We can see a Sylas.
Much more mid-game centric skirmishing comp. You can get a lot done with the Sylas Jarvan and what you can do in terms of comboing down, getting a lot of CC, getting a lot of mid-game damage to catch members out of position. I like the catch potential. If you start to pair this with a couple more mobile champions, a couple more hard CC champions perhaps, then you've got a comp that can really be adept at making picks happen. But you just need enough engage, enough hard force to be able to get on top of people and not be disengaged consistently.
But are we going to just see the Galio and the Vladimir?
Surely.
They've locked the Vladimir in.
I mean, like
the Heathens look great on the Galio.
Been really good on the Galio consistently. Blyce has been really good on the Vladimir consistently, but instead,
I like that.
They go for the higher priority jungle matchup. Because the Jarvan's taken away already, they could afford to just ban out 2 junglers and then throw Jarvan in the jungle if you needed to.
Yes, that is the flexibility. But kind of historically speaking, from what we've seen from Bulldog, they typically like to go for this Jarvan in the top lane. They're going to get their hands onto the Galio, most likely going to the Cat in the bot lane. So now it's onto the Heathen to show us something new, to show us something different in this bot lane.
Yeah, there was a while where we saw the Galio Lucian, Galio, Ezreal bot lanes be so strong, and the way they ended up being counted out was just having zone control away, and you could pick an Ezreal into it, you could pick things like that to zone it away. Ezreal a lot weaker, but you just need to keep him at a distance. And with this comp, it's really hard to keep it at a distance because they've got now the Galio. This has gone from being a comp where I'm worried that they don't necessarily have all the engage they need to with a Galio, they've got all the engage they need. They just need extra damage dealers now.
Well, Bulldog's starting to pinch onto that support pool. The Braum gets taken away. We do see this Sivir from Hybrid. They're going to be their ban. Looking at what's kind of left open, you could also keep your eyes for something like a Skarner potentially in the jungle. Could be an option here for Bulldog. Curious to see if they want to ban away another support right now. So they've got 2 seconds to work with to take away the Fresh. Don't want to give that over to Heathen. And Hybrid, do they opt into another AD carry ban? Do they opt into something that can kind of ban some of these junglers?
You can't really afford to ban junglers or top laners because of the flexibility of these champions, where it could just be a wasted ban. So I think you're kind of pigeonholed, unless there's something you're really afraid of, into just banning out another AD carry here. You could ban away like Lucian. Yeah, exactly, Lucian. And that just takes away the early game pressure that you would have from a Lucian, a Galio bot lane that has so much pressure. And now maybe you can get a support that can control the early game much better, deny this, and rely on those later game scalings again, you have to say, which is unfortunate for Hybrid because they're not really playing proactively at any point. But if they're relying on the mistakes of Bulldog to let them scale, it's worked thus far. It's just a case of there needs to be just enough mistakes to punish without making enough mistakes of their own to be punished. All
right, well, Koki going to get the Tristana here in this bot lane. They kind of got the pick of the litter of what was left open with all of these AD carry bans. There's 3 of them so far, but might just see that Caitlyn get locked in. It's so strong, and this is that kind of pokey zone control you were talking about. Get that?
The ability to keep Galio at a distance, Morgana can do that so well. And when you look at the ability to just land a binding on Galio, whose engage is so telegraphed, and walk away outside of the taunt zone, outside of a flash taunt range because he can't then flash, it makes it so much easier to then land a trap into E, and you can get a full combo to then burst him down and make the turn happen. So I really like this lane matchup. Now they need to be able to get this comp scaling, as you said, get it into the late game. And this is going to be, unless we're seeing some shenanigans here, I assume that's Jarvan jungle, Poppy top, and Poppy into the Akali.
It's like the quintessential like British plays. Like if you're a top laner in the UK, you play Poppy.
You play Poppy.
If you're an AD carry in the UK, you play Tristana as well.
You play the yordles, I guess, but you play the stiff upper lip Poppy. You know, it's the thing that all the top laners in the UK seem to play, and it's going back to it. It's actually going to be against the Vladimir here, which is a rougher matchup, you have to say. If it is against the Akali, that's the better matchup, where you can try and deny her ult for escape. You can try and deny her E in, so she can never really jump on top of you, in which case it's just a scaling matchup. But if you're up against the Vladimir, he just gets the free scale into you. There's nothing you can do to punish him. At that point, he just goes Kleptomancy, and what the hell are you going to do as a Poppy to stop him from scaling?
It's going to be a rough one here as we do head out of picks and bans. I'm loving both of these team comps here for both of them. I think it's going to be really, really explosive.
I really like the adaptation in bot lane. The moment Galio is gone, they see Galio on the opposing team. Okay, Caitlyn Morgana. That's one of the best bot lanes in the meta right now, and it's been overlooked the entire series. So the moment that they know that the opponent isn't going to really be playing that, they just sit going, yeah, let's just go with the Galio. They're not countering it. Let's just continue going with the Galio. The moment it's taken away, they have the counter pick ready and prepped. We'll have to see if they can take over the bot lane. Unfortunately, like what happened to them last game.
I mean, looking at like more recent tournaments, looking back to the European Masters, Misfits Premier, you had Neon and Hiva as the bot lane duo.
Yeah.
Just underperformed all tournament long. Into the finals, they pick up this Caitlyn Morgana bot lane, and they smurf. Like, they looked... this is a bot lane who played the Pantheon Talia and went like 0-15. It was dire. It was... Actually, it was like 0-20. It was dire. They completely trolled for the rest of the tournament. But then they get this Tristana and the... Not, sorry, Tristana. The Caitlyn Morgana. And it, like, you're not even looking at leader as like the all-star player. Neon is just popping off consistently. So get themselves a very powerful bot lane here for the side of Hybrid. And, you know, I'm liking it. It does give that push. It does give that poke and the zone control into this Tristana. Because if she gets onto the turret with the charge, that's when you can start to kind of accrue and kind of stack up some of these early plays.
One of the things I've been so surprised by in the UK League thus far is the lack of priority on Morgana. She's been so good in the mid lane recently, just as a safe, blind pick mid laner who can be flexed to support, denies Thresh completely by picking it. But now we're seeing it. I want them to prove how strong it is and prove that it should be a higher priority pick. Prove the strength of this pick that we're seeing in other regions, in other tournaments, where it is so high in the pick and ban list.
Well, we have a quick pause due to some issues on one of the ends of one of the players. So it won't be too long before we get into our third game of the day to finding out who is going to be winning this series between Bulldog and Hybrid. I'm really itching to get into it because, I mean, we've had two very good games, and they've been vastly different as well from one another, which has been really fun. But, I mean, we kind of keep hitting on the same fact that, you know, our open teams, they're looking competitive. Now, the question is one of these teams will have to take on the either XL or M&M. I'm not sure exactly what one, so hopefully production can bring up a bracket for me. And
It's going to be, this team goes up against XL.
Is XL.
The winner of this team goes up against XL.
It's a tall ask for them.
The winner
if
of
they
the
want to get
series
this win.
afterwards of Barrage looking for goes on to face M&M.
Well, let's bring up the bracket so you can have a little look. Yes, so winner of this series will take on XL. They're the winner of Barrage and Looking for Org. Our second best of 3 of today is going to be taking on M&M Gaming. So,
I mean,
you know,
we say,
it's two
we say
very
second
hard
best
teams.
of 3. What we really mean is second 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, like, where every game in Forge of Champions is going all the way. I got dinner last night, though. The first night, we finished so late, I didn't get dinner.
Oh,
Everywhere was closed. The kebab shop was closed. I talked about this
Yeah.
yesterday. I talked about my haircut today. You know, it's all just falling apart, man. My hairdresser's retired. The KFC was closed. I was just, what am I going to do?
This is the life of a caster, guys. You think we're blessed. We get to sit and talk about video games for money. You know,
But we
it's
don't get
horror.
chicken.
We don't get a haircut anymore because our hairdressers are
I mean, your hair's
retiring.
pretty long, to be fair.
Yeah, like, I mean, my hairdresser retired 6 years ago. Why do you think it's this long?
Oh, okay. Oh, God. Is that what's going to happen to me? I hope not. There are other hairdressers in the world. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I have been told.
This has to be a myth.
That's a myth. It's not real.
Yeah. All the same, though, it's like we have a lot of fun here, and I'm really excited to see how this game does turn out because this has been like a long time in the making for a team like Hybrid. They've had to go through that open qualifier tournament, and now it's all on this game to go keep on their dream in Forge of Champions, to keep on trucking, and by taking down Bulldog, and that's the first step. That's the first rung on the ladder of showing that you are capable of beating a UKLC team. And then you got to be building on that from there. This is the first stepping stone for them. And if they get stopped here, just think how heartbreaking it would be.
It would be heartbreaking, but they still aren't out of this. They do have the relegation to play in
still,
2 weeks' time. Bulldog might be a team that they might just be looking to take out as well here. So, I mean, while we've been hitting on how competitive these open teams are, it does mean that these relegations are going to be very, very fun. I think it's a double elimination bracket. I need to double check the facts on that, but that's what I was told. But I might have been zoned out at the time. Sometimes I get here, eat my lunch, and I'm just not listening when people are telling me stuff. That might have been one of those times.
He's just scrolling through Twitter while somebody's telling him how the double elimination bracket works.
I'm fairly certain it's double elimination. So there is an opening, there is a chance for one of these teams to make it to the UKLC, because we're not done with the UKLC. There is obviously another tournament kicking off. Forge is our little bit of filler, our little bit in between seasons and in between the European
homage
Masters.
to what we did last season as well.
Exactly, and what's nice is it gives a chance for some of these open org players and teams to kind of showcase their talent. You know, even if someone like Hybrid doesn't make it in, maybe some of these players, people look at them and go, you know what, they're looking pretty good. Maybe we'll look to pick them up, and it gives a good opening. It's a showcase of talent for our kind of next tier of teams and players in the UK. So. Pretty excited actually to see how this kind of Forge pans out, because remember, the winner of Forge of Champions then has to climb to the top of the tower and take on Fnatic Rising, who are sitting as the tower champions at the moment after winning the UKLC.
Doing so well at EU Masters as well. So
top 4, baby.
Proving themselves to be, it's exactly the same as the England team at the World Cup. It's everybody said it was coming home, but they get knocked out in the semis.
Yeah, and then we played Olaf, and man, I mean,
Scoundrel
had his piece about that. I'm gonna leave it at that. Didn't like it.
We love Olaf here at LVP.
I mean, clearly we do, because it actually saw a lot of play. So, I mean, I don't love Olaf, right?
One of the things as well to actually talk about is a lot of players in this Forge of Champions tournament, they have their contracts coming up fairly soon, and they're talking about like looking for other orgs. So you saw with Diabolus, a lot of the players like Yusa saying like, I'm open to other contract opportunities. That guy showed up at EU Masters. That guy had a really good year for Diabolus, and so when you see a player like that perform here as well, it's putting everybody on notice that this guy is a guy to pick up, and I'd be so sorry to lose him if he went somewhere else in Europe, but all the same, this guy is worthy of that kind of opportunity. He's a very good player, and there's a lot of players in the UK League who have that kind of opportunity available to them when they show up like they have been.
I mean, post-Forge is going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun because that's when all of the teams are going to be maybe shifting around some of the players. Some people will stay, some people won't.
It's like
and it makes it really exciting.
It's like LEC rosters on steroids. Everybody's moving everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly, there could be some massive shake-ups on some of the rosters. You know, I love it. I love it because we get like entirely different power teams. And obviously, the most important part about like new players entering in or players getting onto teams are the power rankings of individual players and teams.
I know Orcs loves those.
Everyone, I don't get involved in that mess because everyone gets flamey as hell on it. But I love going into it, reading into everyone, be like, no, this guy's not S+ tier. He's A tier at best. God, you're
Looking through the
such a
off-season,
dumb.
it's like you get halfway through the off-season, you go to bed one night, and it's like you go to bed after a house party, and you're like, I just need to sleep. You wake up and nothing is where you thought it was. Everything's everywhere. There's a lampshade in the toilet. You don't have a clue where anything in the house is anymore. And that's how it is. All the players have gone everywhere. Everybody's moving around, and nothing is secure right now. I don't believe there's any players who are on a contract that's longer than Forge of Champions, so everybody's free to move.
Everyone is free to move. But with these technical issues, we are going to cut to a quick break, so we're sorry about that. But once we have this ironed out, we'll be back with Game 3 to find out who is going to be winning between Bulldogs and Hybrid. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second.
Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking what's mine, that I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. my world's so bright. It's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out.
Hello and welcome back to Forza Champions. The issues have been ironed out and we are ready to get going with our third game of the day. And don't worry, picks and bans will still remain, so we don't need to redo all that. We'll be getting into game nice and quick. I'm really excited. We know how much is on the line. This is a team who are in relegation and a team that is also looking to take their spot. Yeah. A massive boost to the mental if you can get this win here. We'll have to see how they can fare as we take to Summer's Rift for our third game of the day.
You got to say, a lot of the focus is on the bot lane this time around. We're looking at that Caitlyn Morgana. That's the big change here from the drafts of the previous game. So I'm looking at that to be the difference maker. If we can start to see them get an advantage, maybe the Morgana can roam around, land a key binding that can set up a jungle kill from Zyko. Look at all the CC they have now if a Caitlyn is in there as well. So I want to see that be the thing that gives Hybrid the advantage.
Well, dragged up. Gonna take a fair amount of poke. He might just look to base off, but the minion wave coming in fairly soon. He's got that fleet footwork, so he should be able to sustain back up.
Also, Koki has low-key the best Tristana skin.
I like that one. I've actually, whenever I don't play Tristana often because I'm not very good at her, but whenever I do play her, I always have a bit of an existential crisis because for some reason I seem to have loads of skins for her, and I can never figure out which one I want to play. I do like that one. I'm actually an advocate for the Buccaneer one as well. I quite like that one.
I own every Tristana skin. So, like, I'm in the similar boat to you where I always have to think about it. I think, like, Omega Squad's up there for me.
I'm not keen on that one.
I don't know, I just like all the Omega Squad skins, specifically Vigar because of the little emotes that he makes.
The Vigar one is good. The Vigar one is very good.
I like Twitch one as well because they called him, like, the medic, and they gave him, like, a white lab coat on one of his chromas, so I use that one consistently.
That's kind of cool. Alrighty. Well, we're on to the game. Eagospeed being poked out. Blyce actually opted into the phase rush and not the Kleptomancy you were talking about.
Yeah,
but
it's better for late game team fights, but it doesn't allow him to snowball as consistently. So I'm greedy as hell. I'll go Kleptomancy in every matchup I can. But all the same, it's like it's probably better for split pushing, 1-3-1. You can look at this comp and it's very good at that as well. So
ooh. Coward, that's it. Dash away.
You were saying earlier.
Diablo.
You were saying earlier to me like all the prestige skins are worse than the originals. Besides, what was it? Blood Moon Aatrox?
Yes.
Is this one included?
Yeah, I actually prefer, I think Akali's base one, KDA one, is so much better.
I mean, I like the purple aesthetic, so I can't help but agree with you.
Yeah, I'm not keen on prestige. I need to get the Ari one at some point for like
the Champagne Tails one.
Yeah, because
that initially looked like her tails were piss.
Might have to hold this because they flash in. He even still had a little bit of the black shielding. Knight goes down. The flag and dragon. They throw the binding out, but it's too little. It's too late, and Koki finds first blood.
Well, we said bot lane was the focus, but maybe not the way we expected. As it's 3 summoners burned from the sides of Hybrid, and the Heathen goes down. Nice early gank from Quinal, and getting his bot lane an early lead. If Dragdar struggles like he did in the last game, there's a Tristana on the opposing side, which is even better at snowballing than the Sivir. So I want to see this utilized effectively if they can continue pushing this lead.
It's a rough start there for Hybrid, but good start for Bulldogs, and this is exactly what cost them quite a lot in the last game, as Zyko needs to be careful because the Ego Speed flashes in, gets the wall bang, doesn't fully connect it, but he flashes for the hammer shock, and he's looking for his own kill. Zyko jumps away, the flag and drag now onto Blyce. He turns into Ketchup, and Diablo coming in to try and save the day, but Coward jumps forward with the chains, the flash, the ignite. Coward secures the kill with a Tain Lash. Now they get the slow onto Diablo, who's looking to run away, and Bulldogs come up swinging in game 3.
We said they needed an early game where the jungler actually does something and is able to snowball an advantage. Straight away, he's got 2 big kills onto Calwood and Koki. This is exactly what was needed to give them the lead. This is exactly what was needed to prove that Bulldog can have an effective early game. And now they're set up to try and take over these early phases, use these lane advantages now to then transition into getting dragons, getting towers, getting the Rift Herald, and utilizing that to snowball further.
Well, Dragdar's still been able to get himself a CS lead in this bot lane over Koki, but Koki has already been a base, picked up the pickaxe.
God, you can still just see the strength of this bot lane shining through, even though they did die, yeah. It's still a 13 CS lead for Dragdar. Without summoners, he's still being able to get this much of an advantage, and credit to him, he's not even based yet. And he's setting up this huge crash.
This is also a really good Caitlyn skin. This is such a sleeper good skin.
I can't remember the Caitlyn skin I use. No, I use Pulsefire.
Oh,
I love Pulsefire. I mean, it's the whole like time travel aesthetic thing that she's got going on.
I'm not big on like futuristic things like
yeah, I think we've had a discussion
like
like this before.
Yeah. It's the same reason, but I don't really buy the project skins that often.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's some better skins in the project. Pretty much every champion that has a project skin has a better skin than the project skins. Like, Lucian's probably the most commonly used project skin.
Lucian's one's nice. Although
But
I'm actually...
High Noon Lucian's better.
Pardon?
High Noon Lucian's better, though.
I actually am an advocate for his first skin. I can't remember what it's called now.
I
can't remember what it's called now.
Gun something.
Hired Gun Lucian.
Hired Gun Lucian.
Because the gun effects have really cool sounds.
Yeah.
Really satisfying to shoot.
I like High Noon because it's got that kind of sort of Western sound effects and that kind of vibe to it.
It's a cool one. Well, Poke's going down into the cat here, but he's able to walk away. Even with that first blood, not actually really letting it get to him too much. As Zyko now looking for maybe something of an invade onto Kunil. As Calwood now steals away Diablo's ulti. Has got himself a perfect execution.
That's an instant runaway moment when you see that. And he's got an easy escape here if Zyko does want to try and get a gank off, which should be very ineffectual.
Well, they throw a binding out, the taunt comes down, Dragdar is going to be okay, the trap does connect, they try to throw the flag and Dragon and Kunil running away, they do secure the kills, Kunil gets it, the red smite is enough.
The jungler having a bigger impact again, Cornell, he's having a good day here, he's having a good day at the office, where he's, this is more similar to his first game, where he was able to have a good impact early, but we need to see if he can transition this into advantages. We saw them get dragons last time, but their taking of tower shards was minimal. I need to see them use this dragon effectively. Now it's the mountain dragon especially to take towers.
And this is what I'm saying, if you do get onto the towers of the Tristana, you put the charges down, plates can be taken nice and quick. They've already managed to take one in that lane. Now with this mountain, they should be able to take even more plates. Will also help them secure their health onto the Rift Herald as well, if they want to use that. Because we've seen mixed success so far at Forge of Champions today, and these first 2 games have actually been fairly good use of the Rift Herald.
The thing I would be worried about, if you're a Bulldog right now, is you're putting a lot of effort into getting Koki ahead. You're putting a lot of effort into giving a guy who's still even in lane a big gold advantage. Like, he's got a pickaxe to a longsword, and he's still going even in lane fairly consistently with the Caitlyn. So, after you put that much effort into it, against the scaling of a Vladimir and an Akali, is the ADC the person you want to put all the gold onto? Because they are going to have the biggest target on their head in team fights. And Akali, she's adept at hitting those targets.
They do have a lot of safety though, because if Akali jumps in, she can be instantly taunted by the cat. There's a lot of CC to work with. You've also got to keep in mind, as long as Ego Speed is standing with the team, also a massive denial tool, that steadfast presence. So
But just looking at things like 2 divers plus a Morgana is always such a detrimental thing to play
It's
against.
It's hard to like fully disengage for Koki, but if you keep Koki relevant, you do have the tools to keep him alive is more the point.
I just need to see them put some more gold into Silas. This guy's going to do consistent DPS. Will be a big frontliner in the fight, and will buy space for the Tristana to do DPS.
It's been a while as well. The last time I actually saw it was in the UKLC, and it was banned consistently towards the tail end of the tournament as well. So, been a little while since we've seen a Silas here. Coward already looking pretty comfortable on this champion. So he's got Kunil standing on top of a wall, so has been spotted out, but Diablo just taking so many chains to the face. It's losing a lot of HP.
And this double fleet footwork is allowing them to survive the laning phase, but they're already 1.4k gold down at 10 minutes. This is a really rough situation to be in because this gold lead is being capitalized instantly on by things like Kindle Gem. You can look at that and instantly, like, the gold difference in mid lane is a Kindle Gem's difference. The gold lead in bot lane is a pickaxe's difference. And it's allowing them to get these extra stats to win out these trades consistently. And if we see a fight happen, those stat advantages are going to pay dividends massively.
Well, the taunt coming out by the cat. Just do a little bit of poke to Koki. Koki, someone else.
Koki, Keiki, Kakis?
I don't know. I can't remember where I've seen that name, but I know it from somewhere.
Sure.
If we do actually start to look at the items that are coming through, Koki got the pickaxe and the BF sword, like you said, has got that little bit of an advantage from that one item.
All the ADCs now going for these magical boots consistently.
Oh,
Koki!
Oh, Zyko just launches in and kills him. The knockout goes down, but they've got a teleport completing. Zyko looks to try and run away. The plate should be secured, but in comes the cat. In comes Coward, who has a perfect execution to work with. Dodges over the binding, has the second part to work with. They're going golden, the knockups land. He even gets the black shield off into himself. A torrent of blight into the Hemo Plague. He's trying to get the damage onto Cat, who goes golden. A binding under the turret in ego speed will fall down. The flash forward to secure the kill. Ace in the hole onto Cat. He's low, and they haven't found everyone yet. Coward makes his way out alive. Hybrid jumps in, Diablo cleans up, finds one, looking for another, uses the shroud. He's trying to stay alive, but he gets himself the double kill, jumps away, and Koki should be able to shut him down.
And that is going to be a massive trade back and forth, but it does end up in the favor of Hybrid. They do end up getting the tower shard, but now, in the meantime, Quidel, who didn't show up in the fight, the only member not to, went and took Rift Herald and now is dropping it mid lane. So if Zyko could stop this pretty quickly, it's going to be helpful, but all the same, another massive injection of gold into Quidal, who is able to force these skirmishes really easily. So a big investment of gold into him now makes him one of the most fed members of his team.
I mean, actually, it only gives him a 100 gold lead over Zyko, because Zyko's farming up a storm. So these plates has just equalized
all that
out
farm difference.
It equalizes out the jungle difference, but that gold, like you said, you'd like to see that injection onto the likes of the Silas. You'd like to see that injection of gold onto, you know, one of these kind of key carry members. Curious to see if Kunil goes in for a more like kind of bursty build, where you go for the more flat AD, or more recently and more typically we've been seeing a focus on the tank Jarvan.
Well, he's going for Warriors Enchant first because the stats are just so effective on it, but Calwood here ult the Rek'Sai ult, so
they're looking to chase. That uses the Void Rush. They do for that second Void Rush, and Zyko secures the kill. Now Ego Speed with that steadfast presence, trying to run away, getting slowed down. But is just going to be able to walk back towards his turret nice and safe.
Well, after it slipped away from them early on, you have to say, off of a few nice plays by Diablo, Zyko, and the gang, it's just led them to be back in control of this one.
A lot of
now
damage
it's 5-5, gold pretty much even. But a lot of those turret plates down in mid and bot lane. It's entirely the thing here. It's just farm difference versus tower plating. And that is what has evened out the gold, because the farm difference is thoroughly in favor of Hybrid consistently across the map. But these plates have allowed them to even it out, even though the bot lane is down that 15 CS, even though top lane is down that 15 CS. The jungle, we said that already, even in gold, but 20 CS difference.
We do start to look at the items that are being picked up mid lane. Coward's finished up the Protobell. You can see the Gunblade in the build here for Diablo on this Akali. First turret is already picked up by Bulldogs and now Cornell.
Level 9 to level 7 in the jungle matchup though.
That's
even though the gold's even, the experience isn't.
And that's going to spell a lot of bonus damage, as the plates will be falling off fairly soon. Haven't seen too many get picked up here for the likes of Hybrid, and it looks like they might just struggle to actually take out more. So maybe if they can find something onto Coward, might be all they need as they do land the knock-up, interrupts his dash away. The flag and drag comes in. Look for the perfect execution. They already find themselves one shut down. Now Coward has stolen his own execution as well. He even coming in with the binding, finds the mark, and that is Diablo with the kill. The chains have landed, but Cat walks away with a taunt to slow.
So one for one, jungler for jungler, but it gets another kill on Akali. It's another kill onto this hyper-scaling assassin who needs to be removing these key targets like Koki, like Quinel later on, when you can perhaps get a Baron off the back of it. There's the CC combo.
The Ignite? No, it's not
he's got the potion running.
Oh, 18 HP.
That's a tight one. That's a way you put a not even close baby in the chat.
That was calculated.
But you saw there the damage that can come out off of one binding from the Heathen. It's the binding into the trap, the empowered auto, into the E, into the empowered auto. The combo here is so heavy in damage.
But Diablo actually just looking to put the damage on, flips back with a shuriken flip. Not going to go for the full commit, just forces Coward away. But first turret blood in favor of Bulldog in the mid lane. Coward is going to get that injection on to that mid lane carry you were talking about. Perfect execution, not available for Diablo yet. But Coward about to get his spell steal. Hijack.
So here's what Quinel's doing here. He's going for the classic Camille jungle build, where you go Warriors Enchant into Ster Exchange into GA. So you can dive in as hard as you want, but you get enough effective tankiness while doing so much damage that it doesn't matter how hard you dive, you'll probably survive anyway. And it's what Camille used to do, it's what Xin Zhao actually transitioned into doing after he stopped building the Trinity Force that became too much gold. So it seems to work, and I can understand definitely why you want to do that in Jarvan.
Well, Diablo in this mid lane is starting to struggle with no tower being up, but just pushing up for the moment. You can see Hybrid putting some attention onto potentially trying to take this turret, but Zyko's there. They're going to use the ace in the hole onto Koki. The cat doesn't block that up. This just might mean Diablo could go for the assassination. The taunt into the buster shot. A little bit of miscommunication. Perfect execution secures the kill. The turret falls as well. And that flash knock up onto Cat. He's ignited. He even secures the kill. A binding is dodged out by Ego Speed, but Hybrid find two.
And there's 2 kills and a tower response. And once again, Hybrid has the lead. Really nice play there. So much patience from Diablo to wait out the taunt before using that perfect execution, getting the kill onto Koki, and once again this bot lane's being exploited, but nice steal all the same. Not going to stop this dragon going down, but it's going to help his ego a little bit.
But I mean, it helps the rotations here for Hybrid now. Yeah, they didn't get a blue buff, but getting this Cloud Drake means they can be able to move around the map.
Move faster between
constant
lanes.
rotations has been what's keeping this team relevant, what's been keeping them up with this jungle deficit as well being quite handy for Zyko.
But it's definitely what you want to see if you're Hybrid, because you can talk about the Mountain Dragon being so effective and competitive and the Infernal Dragon, but what is the most effective dragon beyond that? It's especially in a 1-3-1, maybe even better than a Mountain Dragon. It's using this Cloud Dragon to rotate between the lanes, split your opponents apart, and making picks, because that's what this composition wants to do. That extra little bit of movement speed, and it's effectively, if you're rotating between a bot lane and a mid lane, it gets you on that tower 2 seconds faster.
Diablo may be overcommitted. He does have ulti, so jumps over the wall with that. He's going to be able to get away nice and safe, but chase from Bulldogs. They all are able to take the turret. But the rest of the team are mid, so actually it's just an inside track for Hybrid here.
And he moved there so much faster, partially due to this Cloud Dragon, partially due to the fact that he jumped 2 walls, that they're going to get this tower in response. It's a 1-for-1, and he got 3 members to commit bot lane.
Are they going to take this for the teleport commits? Oh, the teleport's cancelled out. Blyce does use the ulti, flashes forward, in comes the ultimate by 1 onto the trap, and he's going to go down. Quinel gets himself a flag drag knock-up. Diablo flips away as another binding does connect as they look for the traps into the full combo. Quinel
so close.
Almost takes a 90 caliber net. But he's going to be able to walk away. Now Coward maybe looking for the hot chase as Ego Speed flashes in, looking for the wall bang, can't quite find his mark, and Zyko jumps away. Chain Lash is not going to connect, and Hybrid not being punished.
And so much being used by Bulldog there to try and capitalize on that tower going down. The TPs, the flashes, everybody trying to get that pick. And all they really get is Blyce in trade for 1. And it means that Hybrid are happy to walk away with that tower. They're happy to walk away knowing that they're getting this gold on the targets they want it on. 3, 1, and 4 Akali. And if Diablo can make a big impact as this game goes on, then it's definitely on the right target.
Well, clearing out this mid lane for the moment. It's only 18 minutes into the game as well here.
Much more explosive game than we've seen in the previous 2, definitely.
I mean, that's the key thing. Is like these teams, you know, they're not letting the fact that it's game free. They're not letting the fact that like you lose this and you're out get to them. They're going ham, dude. They want to fight constantly. The Steric's now been picked up for Canal.
Maybe that is it getting to them, though. They every single time a play starts to go wrong, they instantly have to correct it on the other side of the map. They instantly have to force something elsewhere, and it's leading to fight after fight after fight.
Yeah, typically I see teams kind of just, you know, in these kind of situations, they play safe. They play for scaling because they're, okay, I don't want to throw it on this point. But, you know, Hybrid not letting it get to them as in comes Zyko, finds himself a pick, gets knocked up. They do throw out the binding. The teleports are coming in. Health bars are low. Cat will get answered out. It's a 1-for-1. And Cornel now taking a lot of damage. Hemo plays on. Ace in the hole to connect as well. Is going to heal it up with the Sterix as he does tank up a lot of damage there. It's just a 1-for-1. Jungler for support.
But now they have the inside track on mid lane and a decent wave. He's going to let them push this in while Akali goes towards the top side. So this is what they need to be doing, playing with Akali in the side lane, dragging members away, which allows Caitlyn to get control of mid lane. We know how good Caitlyn is at sieging when you can put all those traps down, set up a firing range for a Morgana as well, trap them under their tower, get all this damage down. And if they get a Baron with this 1-3-1, with this comp, with the Caitlyn Morgana, it's all but over for Bulldog, and so they have to get back into this, get control on the map as soon as possible, or it's just slipping away from them, and they're not winning either of these side lanes, or even the mid lane matchups, so it's so hard to just have that control at any point.
All right, with 20 minutes on the clock, Baron has now spawned up. You can see that Koki has got a lead over Dragdar. Dragdar should just be looking at base by his own rapid fire cannon, double energizer. Support's coming in, but they throw out the flag and drag.
Yep, the fun thing about flag and drag, you can use it while you're rooted. It doesn't matter.
I've always found that very silly, if I'm going to be honest with you.
It's just it doesn't count as a movement ability. It's like, because neither of the individual abilities are causing you to move, I guess. It's a combination, so it's not a movement ability.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's for that Demartian Death Bowl combination. It's a little bit delayed, and Dragdar doesn't even have to jump away. Zyko also ignited by Coward in that jungle, but he's going to be able to make his way out. And Hybrid, a lot expended onto them from Bulldogs, but they don't use them too much to get away.
And so now we're just seeing them try and get back control on the map. Slowly, Bulldog have been pushing up. This is what they want, but if they overstep even slightly and get hit by one of these bindings, that could spell the end. Zyko's just going to be forced to back off by a straight explosive charge.
The Cloud Drake should be the answer here for Bulldog, as they know they're not playing into a jungle-less Hybrid. So actually the rotations are coming forward. They're actually trying to commit and defend here from the side of Hybrid. You can see Blight on that zone control. Bulldogs just get zoned up. 2 Cloud Drakes now for Hybrid.
And so now it's with these 2 Cloud Dragons, we said that 1 Cloud Dragon allows you to get that 2 seconds faster. First dragon is most effective, so 3 seconds faster now. And just think about that.
Oh.
3 seconds of extra damage on a tower is...
He failed the tunnel.
He fails the tunnel.
That feels bad, man.
He overestimated
the worst thing is the tunnel even places.
Yeah.
But he still didn't get to use it.
Yeah, it overestimated the length there, and I believe that's what they call half-inching it.
That's sad. Oh well, not too much loss there, really. Gold dead even at 22 minutes between Bulldog and Hybrid. Static Shiv picked up by Dragdar. Obviously does have the long range of the Caitlyn to work with, so wants to go into that option, into that item.
And so now we see just Kunal getting these camps, starting to catch up in the CS lead, and you realize that now that all that gold he picked up earlier from those tower shards is now allowed him to get a gold lead, because he's up in, he's got the same kills and assists, he's even on farm, and he got all those tower shards earlier, but that's an Energizer Caitlyn. That's a lot of damage, and soon he's going to have the rapid fire as well.
Ow!
Yeah, that's the word, ow.
Well, I have to see if they can deal with that, because even though Kogi has got the Zeal item finished up as well, the second Zeal, sorry, got a rapid fire cannon building into that second Zeal, still losing the trade here to Dragdar, just because obviously with the Shiv you do, they get guaranteed crit, so Caitlyn, I believe that was also a headshot as well, to be fair.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of damage you get with a headshot. But all that bonus amplification damage, especially on an Energizer attack, it all adds up. And I want to see if you can get that with the Yuumi. If Yuumi gives you that power up, well, that would be amazing.
Well, they throw the binding onto Cat. Slow him down with the Gunblade. Perfect execution. Throws up the taunt. Zyko not going to get knocked up. He flashes in. Do tidy up. And Kuki is so low. Ignited and is forced to jump away. Teleport comes out by Ego Speed. And I mean, don't lose anything for that.
Really nice pick off there.
Oh, picture in picture. Oh, there
really
we are.
nice pick off there on the Cat. And it just ends up being the binding and the power of this pick composition. We've seen a couple of stopwatches bought the mid and jungle both bought stopwatches now to try and get themselves back into it, try and make sure they can't be picked off as easily. The rest of the team can collapse. The Galio can come in, and similar to what we said about in the previous game, these stopwatches against the pick comp are what are needed to turn those fights. And if they can use them effectively, they have ways to win these fights, even if there is a hard engage off of a Morgana binding.
I'm loving this from Hybrid, though. I'm really enjoying watching them play. I think they're playing very, very well.
I mean, Akali's fun to watch, even though she's annoying as all hell.
She's fun to play. She's fun to watch. She's just the worst to play into.
Yay.
It's the same as Zoe as well. I find her really fun to watch and play. Playing against her,
She's fun to play with as well, especially as a jungler, when like we saw in the previous game, you're fighting 1v1 in the jungle, and then a bubble just comes through two walls, lands on your opponent, and you're like, well, I guess win this fight easy then.
I win now. Bye-bye, friendo.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it. It's a good start here for Hybrid, but you know what? Only 23 minutes into the game. There's still more to go. We have to see whether or not they can bounce back if you're Bulldog, because, you know, you don't want to be the only team to lose to a relegation team so far.
Yeah.
We do have another series after this as well with Barrage versus Looking for Org. And, you know, if Barrage win and Bulldogs lose here, they are the only team to not make it out of this stage. But already Ego Speed getting jumped onto, low HP, the Void Rush is there. Zyko secures the kill. Coward jumps in with the perfect execution. Dragdar is going to get shut down, a double kill for Coward, but in comes the rest of the team. Quinil flashes away, but he is getting chased onto the Proto Belt to chase in more slows. All comes down to the damage, and Blyce tidies up.
And not wasting any time after the end of that pause. It is a 4-for-2 off the back of it. They have control of this Baron area, but not quite enough damage, you'd say, at this point in the game to take it that quickly at the very least.
Do you have to worry about Koki? Could just come and tidy them up. They're going to take a fair amount of damage from this Baron, but they could also just look to kill him. Lost the sustain from Blyce, but Zyko low HP, and with this, Tristana might just be enough to scare them away.
Overstay. They should have just reset for tempo, or at least tried to push up. Instead, they waste their time on Baron. It actually costs quite a lot. They don't get any tempo advantage off of the back of that 4-for-2 team fight. In fact, they lose it. So
I feel like if you had the Caitlyn,
control.
you could have done that. That would have been a worthwhile attempt, but you didn't have the Caitlyn. You didn't really have your reliable DPS.
It's just this actually costs a lot of these sort of level of teams a lot of advantages, where they just think, yeah, we can go Baron here, and they don't think about how much damage Baron does, how much damage they have at that phase of the game, who can tank it, and you just see so many games thrown off of things like the back of that. Like, look at the map now. Look at how far they're pushed in. Look at the vision control that they're losing off of the back of a one fight.
Yeah, well, they are going to have to spend out some of this gold. You can see double Energizer almost finished up for Kuki, as now they're jumping onto Ego Speed. Keeper's Verdict sends one away. Blyce chasing in, has the Hemo Plague, has those slows to work with. Ego Speed wall bangs him in, and Zyko now looking to tunnel over the wall. The Redemption comes down. Ego Speed tries to stay alive. He gets the heal. In comes the ultimate from the Cat, and he's just going to force Hybrid away.
And they get the 1-for-0, they get the pick off, and Vladimir is becoming ever stronger. He's got that Void Staff. He's building towards the Zhonyas, so he's getting closer and closer to that breakpoint by the minute. And we know that with the Phase Rush, he doesn't really need to go for that traditional build we see now, the Spellbinders. So he just gets into a team fight so easy with Protobelt plus Phase Rush. He dives hard into the backline and he shreds people to pieces. The main issue is when Calward's stealing his ultimate. We've seen the power that it has so far when he's used it just the once already, but...
Well, the pings are coming down. They weren't looking for a play in that lane, but it looks like for now, Bulldogs being zoned off this dragon. And if Hybrid can get this, it denies that double dragon, it denies that speedy input, but hijack onto Diablo.
Don't make the same mistake a third time, please, Hybrid. They're losing control of mid lane while trying to go for the objective.
Actually, it looks like Bulldog might just go to clear out this vision. Are going to be able to get themselves the Mountain Drake. Didn't see what the next one spawning up is going to be, but Bulldog may just look to start this up.
Well, they're looking to make a pick here at the very least.
Playing with respect, knowing that Hybrid do have a lot of damage to work with. The bases are actually coming through from multiple members.
Yeah,
and they're just going to start this up. Do get spotted out by the Scry, so instantly they're running away. But Zyko had completed the base. He's all the way in base now. Binding lands onto Ego Speed. He does have that Keeper's Verdict. If he can land it onto multiple members, it might just be key. They're trying to jump in. That's going to be the blood pool forced out. Blyce jumps into multiple members. Hemoplague's down. Koiki is low. Diablo launches him with perfect execution. They find one shutdown. They find two. Ego Speed is low HP. They're forced away. And Hybrid, they might just look to start Baron for themselves.
Honestly, they tried to make the turn there. They should have just taken the Baron and taken whatever casualties they may, because now they lose the fight, they lose two, and they might even lose Baron.
This might just be it here for Bulldogs. Hybrid going to take this Baron, drag Dart over that wall, playing the zone control for his team.
This reminds me of the UK Prem. I was thinking a few years ago, there was a UK Prem match where a Caitlyn stole a Baron with a Runan's Hurricane Bolt over the wall. Not even just the Runan's Hurricane Bolt, the red buff procced by the Runan's Hurricane Bolt stole Baron in the finals of the UK Prem.
When was that?
That was, it was the year Foxdrop casted it because Xscoundrel was ill.
Oh, that was the year that Orcs won it, which I hear about every day. Ever. He's like, hey, Brain, did you know I won UK Prem once?
Once upon a time,
it's like,
okay, granddads.
Now look at you. Here with me. Actually, he's not. He's at university.
Yeah, that's putting its education first. That's why he quit League in the first place, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, good on him.
I tend to zone out after he says UK Prem.
It's hard to understand what he says after that. It just kind of all melds into gibberish.
Oh, Zyko, flags, drags, knocked up, jump away with a flash. They slow him down with the Iceborne Gauntlet. Multiple members chasing, traps are placed.
But look at Akali up in the top side and Vladimir in the bot side. This is what you do with a 1-3-1 comp. They overforce, you have to disengage, and they get these towers.
Redemption get forced out. Dragdar flashes away.
Still
chases on. He auto-attacks the blast code. Redemptions are coming down, and Zyko is going to go golden. They found themselves one. Dragdar still 4 HP. The cat is low. Coward is tidying up. A double kill's been picked up. A Coward is being minced through. Dragdar chases him down. The trap comes down, and this will be a double kill. Stolen away Heathen, as he actually is going to be able to take that out. It actually looks like Hybrid maybe looking to tidy out the game here. Ego Speed is low. The wall bang not going to be enough. Diablo has turned onto the Nexus. Inhibitor, sorry. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but he might just look for the Nexus. Remember, they have Baron buff to work with.
Imagine making that kind of mistake while you have two Baron-empowered solo lanes on top of your towers already. Of overforcing 2 fights in a row.
This might just have cost Bulldogs this game here, as Hybrid are looking to turn their attention towards the Nexus. They are looking to respawn up. Remember, the health bars are low. Cat face plants into the wall, and Hybrid are your first open team to make it through.
And we said it was going to be off of the mistakes and who can punish the mistakes hard enough of their opponent. And it's the huge, glaring error of Bulldog, overforcing twice in a row onto a 3-man unit mid lane with 5, while there are 2 Baron-empowered solo laners pushing, who both take towers during the fight, then losing that fight 5v3.
I mean, it was a rough show in there for Bulldogs in Game 3. Game 2 looked very good. Game 1, there was glimmers of hope. But Game 3, that was all about Hybrid.
Even Game 2, they nearly threw.
Yeah, nearly.
So there's huge errors for Bulldog this series that have cost them dramatically and nearly cost them that game too as well. They've definitely got a lot of things to shore up before that relegation tournament, but Hybrid,
yeah, I was about to say,
they made those plays, they capitalized on those mistakes, and they played to their win conditions consistently. They got the Akali ahead. They were able to punish those errors by having an advantage already, by having the vision on the map where they needed to. And that Baron, we talked about the pressure that you have in a 1-3-1 with Baron. They leveraged that pressure hugely.
Well, with that, Zyko is going to be MVP coming out of that game. Jungler for Hybrid, and I think a well-earned MVP for that man because he played fantastically well.
Yeah. He had a really strong series, and he was the difference maker in those games that they won and completely outshone the opposing jungler all series. This game had a little bit of a rough start, but when he started getting rolling, that Rek'Sai was hitting like a truck.
I mean, he just looked good in all games. Even in the games they lost, he still was playing very well. He still gave them early advantages. And I think it is time we do celebrate Hybrid because they are our first open team to make it through the lower bracket. They now have to take on XL UK, though, in tomorrow's game. So they've got to kind of switch their attention towards that. So congratulations on your win. But we here at Forge are not done because we still have one more series to go. So coming up after the break, it's going to be Barrage taking on Looking for Org. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second.